Armchair.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Armor Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important it is? You're trying to save the pump. Really? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing?
Chief, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Armchair.
YouTube Live.
Radio station. The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station?
I like everything. It's always on my radio.
We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
For me and the Lord, we got to understand we're on a mission from God.
Your home for Braves Country Radio. YouTube.com/@Braves Country. You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
For me and the Lord, we got to understand we're on a mission from God.
Your home for Braves Country Radio. YouTube.com/@Braves Country. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? Doug, your Raiders are on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, Cardinals are on a mission.
On a mission to find a new head coach, yeah.
Yep.
Titans are
We
on
both are.
to find some kind of direction.
Yeah.
All right. Start this off. Bobby, if you're guessing, where is or who will be the new head coach? Or let me put it this way, who do you think it will be? And also, who would you like for it to be? The new head coach.
I think, and this is just based off of words I've heard thrown around lately, I think Vance Joseph is the early favorite, which would be a catastrophic hire. I would like Clint Kubiak, though. I like what he's done in Seattle. I think he would be a good hire. I like Jesse Minter. He's the Chargers defensive coordinator. I think he'd be an outstanding hire. Vance Joseph, that would be a disaster. But either one of those two that I mentioned before, I'd be completely happy with.
Doug, who are you hoping for in Las Vegas? I guess Harbaugh went to the Giants.
Yep.
That tells you right there that was the best job available, because I think he had the best. I think he had the pick of the litter, and he could go wherever he wanted to. Doug, where are you hoping that your Raiders go?
I'm hoping for Minter as well, but I have a strong feeling they're going to pick up. They're going to hire Roberts Saleh to come in, because that's where it seems to be leading. I think those are the two leading candidates for the Raiders right now.
Saleh to be the head coach for the Raiders?
Yeah, that seems to be the way they're pointing. But I wish they bring in Minter instead.
Good morning, Aswas and Peta, and also WQVZ, as we're going live on 1700 AM radio in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So me as a Titans fan, I'm going to tell you who I really want, because I want consistency. I want year in and year out. I just don't think he's coaching this year. I would like to see Mike Tomlin. I think he would bring that tough Jeff Fisher type of attitude to the Titans that I miss in Titan football. I just don't think that's where I think he's going to do the smart thing and take the year off. I think he's going to take the year off. He may do TV. He may just want to get away from the game, right? But, and of course, would have loved to have Harbaugh. If LaFleur becomes available, my God, you should do everything you can to bring Matt LaFleur in to try to fix what they've messed up with Cam Ward. But the guy that I would want, just like when the Falcons became their head coaching job became available, I still feel like I was right. Mike Vrabel should have been the pick. I think if you go out and you get Mike Tomlin, and if I'm the Titans, I say, I know it, I get it. You don't want to coach. Why don't you come on down to Music City and let's just have a talk. Let's just have a cold beer and let's just talk about what could happen, right? And I would do everything in my power to bring him in. I think the only thing that would get him to not come in and to continue to take the year off would be you didn't offer him enough money. Because everything being equal, if he thinks he's going to want to go coach by next year and you go and you put a big pocket of cash on the table for this year, that's it, man. Like that, he's not going to pass that up, especially if you give him some concessions to what I would hope that you would do if you're the Titans trying to bring in Tomlin is that you would give him, I'm not going to say power because power is the wrong word, but you would give him some input on what goes on in the day-to-day operations, meaning building the roster and whatnot. I know you're not going to make him the GM. You don't want to make him like a Belichick. I get that. I don't think anybody wants to go through that again, but I do believe that there's a path there where you say, hey, if you come in, you can help pick the general manager. And then that way your views will align with them. And we can try to do what you did in Pittsburgh, which is basically be year in, year out competitive and be here for the long haul. Let's not have to go through this again in 2 or 3 seasons. But there's probably a lot of Titans fans that wouldn't be that excited about that. What's the sense that you're getting up there in Nashville, Bobby?
I'm not really sure. I haven't heard a whole lot about what's going on with the Titans. I mean, my friend's a big Titans fan, and usually he's sending me a bunch of stuff, but I haven't got a whole lot from him. I know they were one of the teams that were scheduled to interview with Harbaugh, but of course the Giants, they didn't let him even leave the building before they got that deal signed. So that's all out the window for the Titans. So I'm not really sure what their direction is right now. I think Tomlin would be a good hire in terms of getting stability for a young team that needs that. I do think there's kind of limitations with how far he'll take the team, but ultimately, like you said, the big thing with that is you're not going to be looking for a new head coach in 2 to 3 years.
Why do people say that about limitations where Tomlin can take the team? Because he by the way, if the limitations is winning a Super Bowl in his seasons, I'll take that.
Yeah. I think it's just more the consistent, 9-8 record, wild card exit every single year on repeat, or 10-7. The same. It's the same rinse and repeat thing.
Okay.
But I will say though, the one factor that's remained constant in all of that is that he hasn't really had a quarterback in all of those situations. If you can get him on a team with a quarterback, you could be looking at a different story.
But also, let's realize and let's remember this whole consistently 9-8, 8-7, 8-8, 8-1. I think he did one year. That all started when he lost Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Before that, they were consistently 11, 12 win teams, and they were fighting with and if it wasn't for this guy by the name of Tom Brady, he probably has several Super Bowl rings, meaning 3 or more.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing Tomlin will put together is a hell of a defense. And then all you really need to do is bring in the right offensive coordinator to run the ship. And he wasn't involved in those decisions. So the idea that it's his fault that they were stuck in the mud at that middling range, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they did not have, at no point since Ben Roethlisberger retired have they had the best quarterback in their division.
Absolutely.
And this is a quarterback driven league.
Yeah.
It's no longer a league that you can consistently have big years win-wise.
It's even been a long time since they've had a top 2 quarterback in that division. So,
right.
Yeah.
But
I hear
you. There are years where you could make solid arguments that they definitely have the number 3 in the division. But there's some years where you can say, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. I don't know if you can even make that argument today.
Yeah.
Was Aaron Rodgers better than Shedeur Sanders? I know one thing upside. Going into a game, I would rather have Shedeur because at least I know what he's capable of from time to time. He did have big play potential, and he still had a rocket for an arm, and he did have the mobility. Yeah, that's none of that is for Aaron Rodgers. We called the game on Monday night. Man, he is a statue. He needs to retire.
Yeah.
To absolutely beat his legacy into the ground. And I know that's not really something he probably cares about realistically, but the guy's definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the NFL.
For sure.
But he has looked bad, and this isn't the first stop that he's looked bad at. He didn't look great with the Jets. He looked a little better about midway through the season last year. But looking at the other coaching openings, because we do have more than just our teams. You got the Atlanta Falcons, and I was looking up this prediction, and this prediction's obviously wildly wrong because they have John Harbaugh going to the Falcons. This is off of ESPN, but you've got the Falcons open, you got the Ravens open. I did see something pretty funny that they were talking about. What if the Ravens went out and signed Mike Tomlin?
Yeah. I saw the Ravens owner. He suggested that the Steelers hire Harbaugh.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing. Mike Tomlin would do a hell of a job in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because the lack of passing game that you get with the Lamar Jackson at your quarterback, that plays right into what Tomlin wants to do, which is build a defense. I think he could fix that defense in one off season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it would be, top 2, top 3, but it would definitely be top 10 again. And you would have Lamar Jackson with still a few good years left. And then you could probably talk Derrick Henry into coming back for another season.
Yeah.
That actually would be a phenomenal. I just don't think they'll hire him.
Yeah.
They're talking about, but at the same realm, they're talking about Stefanski could be the leader in the clubhouse right now to be the head coach. And so he's still coming from a division rival.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the Ravens aren't taking a shot on like a coordinator who hasn't had the chance to prove himself as a head coach. The thing with Harbaugh is, we know he has a great mind for the game. He's still a solid head coach at least. But he's kind of, the team's kind of sputtered out in the last few years. So I'm surprised they'd be hiring a coach that has gone through it and failed, as opposed to an up and coming coordinator who, has potential to take that team to another level.
The one thing that I'm a little confused about is that where is this love coming from for Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah.
Like people are talking about him like he's the second coming of Bill Walsh.
Yeah, I mean, he had those couple seasons where he had 11 wins, roughly. It was around that number. But since then, it's been pretty rough. He hasn't gotten it right.
I mean, he didn't get the most out of Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to put that all on him because honestly, they never should have signed him.
Yeah.
But at the same token, his one really claim to fame was making Joe Flacco look great, right?
Yeah.
But Joe Flacco goes to Cincinnati. It was more of the same. So I'm a firm believer it was more to do with Flacco having his act together late in his career and still having a good arm than it is Stefanski.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't want Kevin Stefanski in Tennessee. I know there's been talks about that because they believe that he could get the most out of Cam Ward. I don't see it. I don't see why why he would be Doug, I still can't believe that the front runner right now is Rob Saleh.
He's been on, look, as many
3 articles while we've been talking, all of them say Rob Saleh.
It's better than Vance Joseph.
Saleh's been on the Raiders shortlist for probably 5 years with all these coaching changes.
Why? He was terrible.
Yeah, but any coach is terrible with the hasn't any success with the Jets. So, and the fact that I guess he's had success as a coordinator with San Francisco.
Okay,
outside of that just
I'm not arguing that he doesn't do a great job as a defensive coordinator. What I'm saying is you're about to have the number 1 pick, which most believe that you're going to take
Mendoza,
Fernando Mendoza. Wouldn't you want an offensive mind to bring this kid in?
Yes. That's why I want. That's why I want
Solo with the top pick at quarterback. He turned into Zach Wilson. I don't know if I want that.
True. That's why I've been hoping that they have.
McDaniel would get more out of Mendoza than But it does feel like a Raider thing to do. The only thing I'll say about this is, won't Tom Brady be involved? Don't you think he'll have his hand in the pot making the decision? Don't you think he's going to want to go with an offensive guy?
Yes, I would. And that's why I was hoping that cooler minds prevailing, get Kubiak as the head coach. That's who I personally want the Raiders to pick as the head coach.
I think that'd be a good hire.
Yeah. And then go pick Mendoza and rebuild that offense and get on our way. But yeah, it's been solid. But it could be a ruse. The Raiders will do that. They'll come out and say, "Oh, we're taking this," and then they turn around and take somebody else. So
they're talking right now with the Titans. The leader in the clubhouse is Matt Nagy.
That's a disaster.
If Mike McDaniel wasn't so douchey and not a leader of men, I actually wouldn't mind him.
I think he's a fantastic coordinator. I think that's what he's going to end up taking a job as. I think the word that's around now, like I don't know from people close to McDaniel or whatever, but reports have been saying that he would rather have a really good offensive coordinator job than a bad head coaching job. So, like a team like the Lions, an offensive coordinator opening like that, I think he'd be all over that.
I'm laughing at what Brian said. He goes, "Bobby, please, you're not in Hawaii."
Yeah, I just moved here. This is the new place. I still got that on the wall.
I noticed the clock, but I hadn't paid attention to the time. It's because in Bobby's world, it's always 5:49 somewhere.
There you go.
The other names that are still out there. Well, first of all, can we address this, Titans fans? Why was Jason Garrett even contacted, much less brought into Nashville for an interview?
Yeah, that was.
Does he got pictures on somebody? Jason Garrett, really?
Terrible.
I'm not in love with some of the other names either. By the way, it does look like your boy Cliff Kingsbury's going to get another shot.
Yeah, as a head coach, it seems.
I wouldn't hate that in Tennessee just because he can probably get the most out of Cam Ward.
Yeah.
But I do think if you hire him, you understand it is a short-term fix. It is to get him to the highest level you can, and then you're going to fire him in about 3 seasons, and then you got to go off and maybe at that point you try to get a long-term answer like a Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Some of these names, they just get recycled over and over again.
Cliff Kingsbury is not a head coach.
Raheem Morris does not need to be on anybody's list.
Yeah. He's been getting interviews with everybody, and I don't know if it's a Rooney Rule thing or what, but it's.
But you know what?
Crazy.
Here's something that I'd forgotten about, and this is a funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that you can get around the Rooney Rule if you just interview Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, because I remember how angry I was whenever the 49ers, they got 2 comp picks. They got 2 comp picks for whenever the Dolphins hired him from them. They got like 2 third-round picks. I was livid. That is a white guy. I don't know, what are we talking about?
Because he says that he identifies as being black.
I guess he's like 1/8 black or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I guess somebody in his family tree, maybe he's black. I don't know.
Or his great grandpa. Good on him.
I can't remember if he said that, but someone in his family tree is either black, but some kind of minority, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but at that rate, that's pretty much everybody in the United States, except obviously Bobby because he glows in the dark. But most people, I could technically claim that Native American side, right?
Somewhere down the line, yeah.
So you could get around the Rooney Rule with just interviewing Mike McDaniel. But there are a lot of assistant coaches right now that you could interview that could get you on the Rooney Rule, and they're well qualified, and Raheem Morris is not one of them.
No.
I think Raheem Morris is a fine idea to bring in as your defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely interview him once I have my head coach in place.
Yeah. I've seen some crazy names floating around, and it doesn't make sense that we're interviewing the Cardinals. At least are interviewing Raheem Morris, because there's other black head coaching candidates that would be great hires that we're interviewing. So I don't know why he's even in the mix. Like Thomas Brown, the passing game coordinator for the Patriots, I'd be fine with that. I think that'd be a great hire. But Raheem Morris, I'm not with that. Also, the Arthur Smith, his name's been thrown around quite a bit. He has an interview coming up with the Cardinals. Please no. I don't what are we doing? I think there's a lot of great names on the list of candidates that the Cardinals have interviewed. There's a lot of terrible ones.
I'm sorry, do what?
There's a lot of great names on the list of coaching candidates the Cardinals have interviewed, and there's a lot of disastrous names. It's either going to be a great hire or it's going to be a hire where in 2 to 3 years they're going to be looking for another head coach.
John says that Mike McDaniel says that his dad is black. Says he is. Is there no proof? What's going on here? His dad? I don't know. Mike McDaniel looks like he's too far down the tree to be able to claim his dad. Maybe his dad part, but Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry, Mike McDaniel. I guarantee I get a better tan than Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
But here's the two scariest names that I see on the Titans: Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
With Raheem Morris aside, I don't want anything to do with Jason Garrett or Mike McCarthy. Let Jason Garrett continue to do a bad job at NBC on the Peacock games where he's sitting in the studio making stupid comments. Let him stay there. And Mike McCarthy, I don't know where he is, but it took the Cowboys 5 years to realize he wasn't it. Mike McCarthy, once again, probably a hell of a coordinator, but I don't think he comes out of retirement as a coordinator.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on from that, but I just wanted to kind of touch base on this because now that the Giants have named Harbaugh, I think the movement will start a little quicker because that's who everybody wanted was Harbaugh. That's assuming that the Packers hold on to LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
There was a report out there yesterday by Adam Schefter that says it's not a foregone conclusion that's a done deal that he's coming back. And you would think if they would have fired him, it would have happened in the last few days.
Yeah.
But
I'd be surprised at this point if they fire him because even the Dolphins, I thought they were late getting to firing Mike McDaniel. And we're already like a week removed from that. So I don't think the Packers would at this point. Although might not be a bad decision, but
I wouldn't think they would. And first of all, I think they're idiots. LaFleur has done a hell of a job. And if LaFleur is going to get fired, please do it today so that the Titans can go interview him and go get him. I would love to see what LaFleur could do with Cam Ward because whoever Tennessee brings in, it's got to be offense first. Whoever
absolutely
got to be an offensive guy. Just like with the Falcons, I think what they have to fix is the defense. I think more than anything else, the Falcons need the stability of a head coach, but they got to fix the defense. Mike Tomlin's a great fit there as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into our stupid underdog picks. Well, we'll start with Survivor. All right. We have the Survivor picks. Doug ended up winning the last round. We went into the playoff survivors. Doug has already eliminated himself. So he won and then he eliminated himself all in the same week. So it's down to me and Bobby. I've got the first pick on the Survivor. I'm going to leave Bobby the low-hanging fruit because I just really do not believe that it's a slam dunk on one of the other games. And I do believe Bobby's going to take this game, but that's okay. I'm going to take the New England Patriots to beat the Texans. That's going to be my Survivor pick, Patriots. And the reason why, after doing that game, and that Texas defense looked great. It was also against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there's just no way in hell that I would take the Texans to go into New England the way CJ Stroud played and think they're going to come out with a victory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be very hard for New England to cover, but that's the reasoning for it. So they're only a 3-point favorite, and there's a much bigger favorite out there. I still think they're the biggest slam dunk. I also think that's why it's the early Sunday game. Bobby, where are you going?
I was gonna go with that Patriots pick. So I think that's gonna be a slugfest of a game, but I think the Patriots are gonna win that one too. You know what? I'm gonna take an underdog. Give me the Bills. I think the Bills are going to get it done.
Okay.
I think they are. I think Josh Allen, I think he's the best quarterback left in the playoffs. I don't think there's much doubt about that. I know the receiver situation is very, very sketchy, but they have a great run game with James Cook. I think he led the league in rushing yards this year. I think they'll be able to get it done. I think they'll find a way.
I'm a little surprised you didn't take Seattle, but is it just because you hate both those teams in that division?
Well, I don't have as much disdain for the Seahawks as I do the 49ers. The 49ers are the last team I want to see win the Super Bowl this year. That would be the nightmare scenario, so I'm hoping to avoid that. I don't know, man. I feel like that. I know the spread doesn't matter. We're just picking an outright winner, but I feel like the 49ers could keep that one a lot more competitive than the spread indicates. They've seen each other twice already this season. The 49ers are always a tough team to beat in the playoffs. They're a well-coached team. You know, Darnold, that's the big thing. This is the big X factor. Sam Darnold, he worries me under those bright lights. I mean, we saw last year how he just completely, just everything went wrong with him in the last couple games of the season for the Vikings. And in the game to clinch the division in Week 18 and then in the wild card round, everything was a nightmare for Sam Darnold. So I'm worried that he'll have another performance like that in a big stage.
It's a little wild to me to realize it's not out of the realm of possibility that after all the dust settles, we get an NFC championship game of 49ers versus Rams.
It's very possible. Very possible.
It's wild to think that, but it's very possible. And I'm here for it because I think it'd be a more exciting game than anything else, or even Chicago. If we get a replay of that Chicago-San Francisco game of a few weeks ago, holy cow, would that be a great NFC championship game? I guess what I'm saying is I'm pulling against Seattle because I think they're dull, and I don't want anything to do with Sam Darnold getting to the Super Bowl and then doing what we expect him to do, which is get in between his ears and implode against either Buffalo or Denver or maybe even New England.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go from that, and we'll hit the stupid underdog.
There's no need to fear.
Stupid
Underdog is here.
Stupid underdog. Stupid underdog.
All right, stupid underdog. It is Bobby's turn to go first. Bobby, where are you going with your stupid underdog?
I'm going with the same team I went with last week, and that's the 49ers. Just kind of the same logic I said just a minute ago. I think I worry a lot about Sam Darnold and big spotlights and big situation. I think, like you mentioned, he could get in between his own ears and really just crap the bed. So I worry about that with him. I also think the 49ers are being overlooked a little bit. They're a good team. They're a well-coached team. +7, I think, is crazy. I would probably have it lined close to 4 points towards Seattle. I don't know if I'd do +7. These teams have seen each other twice. They're familiar with each other this year. I think the 49ers could get it done.
All right, I'm going to make it real easy. I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes +8.5. My logic is sound. I will not be a happy camper if the Hurricanes beat Indiana for the national championship. But at least I would get the points for it.
Yeah.
So either A, I go and have a great offseason because Miami gets a mud hole stomped in them, or B, I'm going to end up catching Doug because the Hurricanes win the national championship.
I think you're going to get A, quite frankly.
I hope so, but I know how my luck is. They
Fair
should
enough.
be here right now. That was a pass interference in the back of that end zone.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they didn't call that, and they were trying to say, "Oh, it's at the end. It was Hail Mary."
Yeah.
That was not a true Hail Mary. Okay,
It wasn't. It was from like the 35.
right. It was like 35. There were like 3 players in the back of that end zone. It wasn't when it's a scrum and there's like 12 guys down there.
Yeah.
Out of each other. I don't expect PI to be called. That was a true pass attempt, and he was clubbed right before he could get to the ball. That's the second time that's happened the last couple of years with Miami, though. I want to say I don't remember who they played. I want to say it was a Friday night game. I want to say it was Virginia Tech, maybe. I don't remember. I know it was a conference game, and Miami won at the end of the game because there was not a PI called. But that's my sound reasoning for picking Miami is just kind of hold my nose and hope for the worst. Doug, what you got?
Let me go ahead. I'll take the Bills. I'll take the Bills to beat the Broncos in the points.
Okie dokie. So Doug's getting the Bills.
I got a real quick question about that Bills thing. So if the Bills win, does he get 1.5, or does he get?
I was thinking about that too. I'm like,
yeah, but basically, if the Bills win, if my math is right, he basically seals the deal.
Okay, so would he be better, even just points wise? Would he be better off if they lost by 1? Because he'd get 3 as opposed to 1.5.
I guess, but realistically, it doesn't matter because if he covers or he wins, he clinches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like a block. It's more like a blocking move than.
Because the only way I can catch him is so if Miami wins, I would have 11.5 points.
Yeah.
Currently sitting at 11.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So any points that he gets, he's going to. Because this is the last week, we're not doing it next week.
Yeah, of course.
Because you only have 2 games left. So it's kind of pointless because basically what do? You pick, I pick, and then Doug just sits there and goes, I don't have a team to pick. We go, yeah.
We should do that. That's our way to get back into it.
Right. And then the week after that, Pro Bowl time, Doug. You just keep losing. So yeah, this is the last week of it. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and go into the 4-pack of tall boys. Here we go. So what we've got now is we got the 4-pack of tall boys, which means that we will end up making 4 picks each. You can do point spread, over, under. You can do teasers, whatever. You want some action on player props, whatever. But we're going to give you 4 picks each. And so, yes, we have the 4 NFL games, but we also have the college game. So, first pick of your 4-pack of tall boys. Doug, where are you going?
I'm going with the Texans and the Patriots. I'm actually going to take the Texans. Give me the Texans and the points.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Houston +3.
Yep. It just they defensively watching. I know offensively they look like garbage. What they have 5 fumbles, 3 turnovers. I know they look bad, but the Patriots, they barely got. I know the score doesn't indicate it, but to me, watching the game, especially offensively, the Chargers kept them to 16 points. And they're facing and the Texans are a much better defense. I just see the Texans winning almost on a defensive touchdown. I could see their defense scoring points against New England's offense.
I think New England's defense will outscore Houston's defense. Because I think we're going to get – so what did C.J. Stroud have last week? 3 turnovers?
Mm-hmm.
Very average Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think the Patriots at home – I can see your logic, and if the under goes like I think it's going to go, well under, then I can see your logic behind it. I think what's going to end up happening is that they're going to get a 2-score lead, and it's going to put the game out of reach. Just because CJ Stroud is a disaster.
Yeah.
That interception he threw down there in the red zone, I want to say it was third quarter, when it was 3rd down and goal at around the 8-yard line, and he had nowhere to go with that ball, and he tried to force it in there where he should have just either ate it or chucked it out of bounds, and he tried to thread the needle, and it got picked off. That was worse than the 2 fumbles where he basically had deer in the headlights.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was just absolutely – Pats over Pitts. Patriots are not playing the Steelers. The Steelers got eliminated, Uncle Charlie. Good to see you in the chat. Question about the baseball show. We're not doing a baseball show this week. The next baseball show we have planned for is the 28th of January. We talked about that last week. It's 2 days before the Braves Fest that a lot of us are going to in Atlanta. And basically, we're going to talk about that and, what to expect from it and all that kind of stuff. If something breaks, if the Braves make a big move, we will have a pop-up show. But there's literally been nothing to talk about. And we are expecting them to do something in the starting pitcher realm. But it just seems pointless to do an hour-long show when nothing's happening. And it really has slowed down for the rest of the league. There's been some movement, but honestly, most of the people that tune in for that show are Braves fans. So that's the reasoning behind that. All right, Bobby, what's your first pick in the 4-pack?
My first pick, I'm going to go to the college football national championship. I'm going Indiana -8.5. I think they're going to blow Miami out of the water. Miami's front seven is good, but Indiana's they're on another level than these teams. I mean, they're just a step ahead everywhere. It's different. I mean, this is one of the best college football teams I've ever seen. It's up there with the 2019 LSU team. That's the best team I've seen in my lifetime. At least I know. I was born right after the Miami teams that came around. It had so many great players, but yeah, the LSU team, that was the best college football team of my lifetime, in my opinion. And this Indiana team is right up there with them. This is a really, really good team, and I don't think Miami's anywhere near their level.
That's funny because I think that the 2019 LSU team is one of the most overrated teams of all time.
Interesting.
Because their defense was not elite.
It wasn't elite, no.
Close.
No, but that offense was just a joke.
Their defense was a joke, but in a bad way.
In a bad way.
Their offense was one of the best offenses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But there's two sides to every ball. So I'll give you an example. The 2013 Florida State team smokes LSU. There's no.
I do think that's probably the most underrated college football team of my lifetime. That team doesn't get enough love.
By the way, whoever wins that game, what a game that would be.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston and that offense loaded behind that defense going head-to-head against Joe Burrow and company.
That'd be fun.
Joe Burrow and company have the slight edge on offense, but it's not a landslide.
Yeah.
And the FSU defense was loaded. the guys that they had went in the NFL draft was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I even think of some of the Alabama teams that that Nick Saban had. I think some of those Alabama teams would have mashed through LSU just because their defense was so – it was a set.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the best games you ever saw was the SEC title game, Alabama LSU.
Yeah.
That thing was pew, 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 pew. Ridiculous. But LSU might have been the most fun team to watch. I will give you that.
Definitely that.
I'm going to go ahead and double down with you. I know I took him as my stupid underdog, but I don't really believe that Miami belongs in that game with Indiana. And maybe I end up being wrong, and maybe Miami ends up hanging in there because it is a home game. But that doesn't realistically ever matter. And you know why it never matters? There are no Miami fans, no real Miami fans. And so I expect that Orange Bowl to be well over 50% Indiana. I think Indiana fans have been waiting for this their entire life. And I would actually think it's going to feel like a road game to Miami. I don't think it'll be like a true split in the stadium. I think you're going to talk about a 70-75% red.
Wow.
The other day when they went head-to-head with Oregon, and that was in the Sugar Bowl, wasn't it? I believe it was. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Now, what? You're talking about Indiana playing Oregon?
Yeah,
that was the Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl, yeah.
Basically same thing because you're talking
about true.
Same area. Someone mentioned it. I thought they might have been blowing it out of proportion. Then I saw an overview. That was like 90% Indiana fans. That whole damn stadium was red. And what few Oregon fans that were in there, they were redder than hell by the end of the first quarter. I don't think I've ever seen a national title game or a playoff game where you felt like it was over after the first play of the game.
Yeah.
That pick six, you're like,
yeah, it's going to be a nasty one.
We were just talking about it earlier in the week, but everything's got to go right for Oregon to win. That didn't go right.
Nope. First play. Could not have gone worse.
Mark my words. Carson Beck's going to do something equally stupid. They have been bloviating about him since they beat Ole Miss.
Oh, he sucks. He's
terrible. He can't hit the broadside of the barn. I called that game, and that's probably the most I've watched Miami play all year. He was wildly inconsistent with his throws.
Yep.
Because he ran the final touchdown in, right? That was some big flex. They act like that he just was precision passing. His numbers were horrific for a college football quarterback.
Yeah.
In a big spot. He was barely over 60%. You expect your college football quarterback in today's game, as soft as the defenses are, they basically don't play defense in college football. You expect your quarterback to be 70-75% on an okay day.
Yeah.
He's horrific. All right, Doug, what's your next pick?
I'm going with this Indiana Miami. I am taking Miami in the plus 8.5. I just think it's way too high of a point spread. I mean, I believe Indiana's going to play this game. I think it's going to be closer than most people think. Indiana wins I think they win by a touchdown.
Remember something else too that I think that's why it's the only reason why this spread is this low. Miami's had a very easy ride to get to where they are. Texas A&M sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A&M sucks. And Ole Miss, it was a cute story, but they were not one of the top 4 teams in college football.
Yeah.
And if they did what they should do, and I don't know why college football can't get this right, which is reseed, Miami would have played Oregon in the second round. And that's what should have happened.
Yeah.
I think they get past Oregon.
Yeah. I think they benefited off Ohio State being a month off of playing.
Oh,
I think it's an egregiously long break between when the top 4 seeds play.
Well, Ohio State looked rusty, but they outplayed Miami in the second half.
Yeah.
So if you take away that one half where Miami was definitely outclassed, Other than that, the 2.5 games that they've played, they've looked like the better team on the field. But I think they look like the better team on the field because, first of all, SEC extremely overrated this year. Extremely. I mean, what the hell? What did they win this year?
Yeah.
And by the way, this is the 3rd year in a row that they've been gifted teams into the playoffs that shouldn't be there. Going back to 2023 with Alabama, should have never playoffs. 2024 last year, there were way too many teams. Remember Tennessee getting boat raced by Ohio State?
Yeah.
And there was no rust versus rust in that game, right? And then this year, Texas A&M, trash, okay? Ole Miss, not much better. And the list goes on and on. Alabama, I think they deserve to be in there per se, but not over Notre Dame. I think I don't think it's Alabama's fault that their selection, that the way they get to their selection is broken.
Yeah.
But that's going to get fixed anyways because they're saying the SEC wants 16 teams, Big Ten wants 24, and the Big Ten will agree to 16 if there's an agreement that it eventually gets to 24. So all this gets eliminated. But I would like to see, realistically, the 16 tried and go from there. But I think you're going to get better games because you're not going to get this rust.
Yeah.
This rust is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the NFL where you get a week off.
Yeah, it's nearly a whole month.
Month off.
Yeah.
And that's not fair for any team that's involved in it. But it really showed the rust that was out there for a couple of the teams, mainly Ohio State. But
yeah, well, it showed how well prepared Indiana was too. They had no problem with it. That Cignetti's different, man.
I think he's a different breed, man.
Yeah, that guy's nuts.
He's something.
He reminds me of Dan Hurley those first couple of years at UConn as the basketball coach. Where I'm like, this guy's a maniac. There's something different about him.
Right. Okay, Bobby, what is your next pick?
My second pick on my 4-pack, I'm going to go with a teaser here. I got Bills sitting at they're plus 1.5. I'm going to get them bumped up to plus 7.5. And then I'm going to have the over-under taken up to plus 50 or to 51.5. And I'll take the under in that. So it's Bills plus 7.5 and under 51.5 total points in that game. I just think with how many injuries they have to their receiver core, they have like 3 active, healthy receivers right now. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game for the Bills. I think they won't throw unless they need to. And, the Broncos, they have a good defense. I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game for the most part, but I think the Bills are going to come out on top. I think this is their time to strike with the Chiefs not in the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Bills at plus 7.5 and under 51.5 teaser.
By the way, back to my point on the whole SEC, just not good this year. The only game they won where they weren't beating themselves in the postseason was the Texas-Michigan game.
Yeah.
And Michigan just lost their head coach. So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
All the playoff games that they played, the only ones that they won was the ones where they were playing an SEC team. That's it's wild to think how the ACC's representative went through the SEC like a hot knife through butter.
Mm.
And the Big Ten obviously is the dominant conference.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, it's not even
close.
Close.
It's not a debate anymore.
But with that being said, year in and year out, I think the SEC and Big Ten deserve to have the same amount of representatives because there's going to be years where the SEC's going to look like the better conference.
Yeah.
But the foregone conclusion that all these fans have that, oh, well, they're SEC and SEC, and that's all they know how to chant.
Yeah.
They don't watch other games outside of their region, so they think that their little narrow scope, well, this team has to be the best because they just beat the crap out of my team. That's not the case.
Yeah. Well, I think that sort of SEC elitism. I think that's kind of why the Big Ten has lapped them now because when teams get added into the SEC, like I know when Missouri got added a while back, all the SEC fans were like, oh no, they don't deserve to be added to the SEC. This, that, and the other. Right? The Big Ten just welcomes these teams. They welcome teams like Oregon, USC. They welcome that new competition. I don't think the SEC has enough respect for other teams, and that's why they're behind the Big Ten now.
Well, that's the reason why I call them the participation trophy conference because they want just the fact that they play in the SEC. They want to have an automatic bid everywhere.
Yeah.
You can have a team that is 0-6 in the middle of October, and they'll say, "Well, we should still be in the playoffs because we get participation trophy because we're in the SEC."
Why are ranked? Those are good losses. They're good losses.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
They're good losses. Well, the team over here that's undefeated, that team's trash. My next pick, I'm going to go ahead and jump down the one that's similar to yours, but it's a little different. I'm taking the same game teaser with Buffalo plus 7.5, but I'm taking the over at 39.5. I think we can get to 40 points with Josh Allen on the field. And so all Buffalo's got to do is hang in there, and I think they will. I think that's going to be the best game of the weekend. By the way, that's the game that we're bringing to you on Braves Country Radio. Bills, Broncos, 4:30 Saturday afternoon. And we're also bringing you the college football national championship on Monday, and then that'll be it for football. And then we get ready for baseball season as far as play-by-play goes. Tonight, by the way, 6 o'clock, Once Upon a Pastime, we're going to be doing the Game 4 of the World Series. Okay. And tonight's topic, by the way, is teams that should have went all the way but didn't. So it's called Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. Doug, what is your next pick?
I'm going with that Bills Broncos. I'm just taking the straight under at 45.5. For all the reasons that you brought up, why you teased it. The Broncos notoriously are such a slow grind when they play. I think up there, Mile High, it's just going to be a slow grinding, almost a run first attack by the Broncos. So I think it's going to be slow. I think there's going to be high time of possession for both teams. So yeah, give me the under 45.5.
By the way, we are getting pretty good weather there. It's 41 degrees, so not too crazy. The only game that's going to have what you would consider bad weather is the Sunday night game, Bears-Rams. It's expected to be 19 degrees and possibly a snow game.
But it's so funny. Last week it was supposed to be close to the same thing, and it was a clear stadium last week for the Bears.
Well, like I said, chance of snow, but it will be 19 degrees.
Yeah.
And the big thing that I care about with that is what's the wind going to be. And I've gotten conflicting answers on the wind, so we'll just wait to see how that unfolds. But see, as much as y'all think it's going to be a grinded out game, I think Bo Nix and Josh Allen are going to light up the scoreboard. Because first of all, I feel like Josh Allen's going to have to because that Buffalo defense is not good. It's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And if it wasn't for the fact that Liam Cohen made some really boneheaded decisions, it's Jacksonville into the next round. I mean, they made some horrific decisions, like not kicking field goals when they should have, and just boneheaded, by the book. Analytics tells me this, so I do that. I'm sorry, you've got to play with a different set of rules when you get to the postseason. And when you get a chance to score points, and this is college or pro, when you get a chance to score points, and I believe this is any time on the calendar, but especially in the playoffs, when you get a chance to put points on the board early in the game, you do it. When you're forced because of the situation, I don't have a problem with it. I also don't have a problem with it if it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 on your opponent's, we'll say 40-yard line. And yes, you could kick a field goal, but a 57-yard field goal isn't exactly a chip shot.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. But I do have a problem with, like Jacksonville, when it was it was a long 4th and 1 against Buffalo inside the 20-yard line. You've got Cam Little on your team, and you don't just take the points. It's just downright boneheaded what Liam Cohen did. And then he got a pat on the back from the lady from the Jacksonville press who goes, you doing wonderful, Duval. You're not helping things, lady. Everybody wanted to kill her for the comment because it should have been a more professional. That's not what I wanted to kill her for. I want to say, quit encouraging what the hell he just did. I don't think that she didn't because she didn't bring a hard question to it. I don't care about that. They're dying the wool reporters that believe that she did a terrible job doing that. Okay, I get your argument. but I don't think it was a horrific thing, especially because it was refreshing because it was different, right?
Yeah.
If this happened all the time, I would say no.
Yeah.
If she did that every single game, if a lot of reporters started doing it, I'd say no. You're just biting her style. Get off her.
Yeah.
But we've never really seen that, and I like the fresh perspective of you did have a great year, which they did.
Yeah.
Hold your head high, and not everybody else in this room is going to try to nitpick you on everything, but take the damn points when they're there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where we at? Doug, it is your pick. No. Doug, Bobby.
Yeah,
Bobby.
it's back to me.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Texans-Patriots game. I'm going to go under 40.5. I think this is going to be a strong defensive performance from both teams. I also think CJ Stroud sucks. So I think the Patriots going to win a low-scoring game in this one. I think they're going to shut down the Texans' offense. And I think Texans are going to do a lot of the same. I think they're going to shut down the Patriots for a lot of this game. But I trust that Patriots offense and Drake May a lot more than I trust Stroud in the Texans offense. So I think the Patriots are going to get it done in a low-scoring game. So give me under 40.5.
Give me the New England Patriots -3. I just don't think there's any way in hell that they don't win this game. And I think they will cover the spread. I'm expecting a 20-10 type of ball game. And the 10 is Doug's probably right. It's probably a defensive score. But I think the Patriots find a way to score, at least make a very short field because of 2 bad mistakes from CJ Stroud. And so I believe it's either going to be 20-10 or it's going to be something even more terrible to watch, like 13-3. But regardless, we're going to get there on the -3.
Yeah.
Doug, what is your last pick?
My last pick is Rams and the Bears. The Rams and the Bears, if you look at their last point differentials in the last games, they've both been averaging, their offenses have been averaging 31 points a game. So I'm taking believe it or not, even in that cold, I'm taking the over 48.5. The Bears have been like cardiac kids. Fourth quarter, especially when they're down, scoring 14 plus in the last quarter and the fourth quarter. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game, believe it or not. So yeah, give me the over 48.5.
What do you mean, believe it or not? Did you think that someone's going to have some hot take that that was going to be a slugfest?
I could see somebody saying, "Oh, it's going to be cold, so it's going to slow their offenses down." That's why I say it like that.
No, those two defenses are not good. Those two defenses, they are the exact opposite of what you always tell people is that defenses win championships. You have to have defense in January. These two teams do not live by that sword. They are going to sling it, and it doesn't matter what the weather is. They're going to have to sling it. And as long as the wind's not bad, they should get to that over. If the wind is bad, then you got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because those winds coming off of the lake in Chicago, that can be a huge problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting any indication that that's going to be the case right now as I click on the AccuWeather. It's not showing high winds. But anyways, Bobby, what is your final pick?
My final pick, I'm going to go with the Rams and their first half spread at -1.5. Actually, I think it might be -2.5. I think it changed this morning, so let me update it. I still think they're going to get it even at -2.5. I mean, the Bears, they've had this sort of comeback story all year. Every game seems to be a comeback for them. So I think they're going to be down in the first half. I'm not sure if they're going to pull back and get a win, but like almost every Bears game this year, I think they're going to be down in the first half. So give me Rams -2.5 first half spread.
I'm going to take another same game teaser. I'm taking the Rams +2.5 and the over at 42.5. I do think this is going to be a high scoring game, and I do believe that the Rams are going to find a way to win. But if the Bears do win, it's going to be on a last second 2-point conversion attempt, and either they get it or they don't. But I don't think that. I think the Rams top to bottom, first of all, they've been here. They've done that. The Rams, remember, last year were in the same predicament. They went east in Philadelphia. It was a cold weather game. The wind was pretty bad. They still moved the ball at the end, and they should have come away with that win, but they did not. I think that has been in the Rams' crawl the entire time. And we're going to have one of the two of the best offensive minds in the game going head-to-head in this. But the Rams are going to find a way. The one thing to keep an eye on, the Rams have gotten very good this last half of the season of coming in with these 3 tight end sets. And I think that's going to be an advantage to them in the cold weather. And maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they were anticipating having to go on the road in January. But I think that's going to play into it heavily. And if they can get past this game next week, they're either at home or they're in Seattle. Regardless, it won't be nearly as hectic of a weather situation. Doug, what is your lock of the day?
My lock of the day is Miami covering that spread.
Bobby, what about you?
Give me my lock as Indiana minus 8.5. I think they're gonna whoop up on Miami. I think that's gonna be an absolute beatdown in the national championship.
Yeah, my lock is going to be the same, Indiana minus 8.5. Anytime you get a situation where you're going, man, that is a lot of points to give up. That's a lot of points, especially in college. Realize why it's that way. It's that way because there's huge mismatches in both directions. And Doug might end up being the one that's right, but I doubt it. Doug, what is your one big thing?
One big thing, going back to that Indiana-Miami game. Everybody's talking about, offensive line, defensive lines. Indiana wins because Carson Beck spits the bed. Look for him to completely mismanage that game. Look for intercept. Carson Beck is going to give that championship away to Indiana.
And yet that's your lock?
Well, he just
I'm only
picked up the
talking
cover.
about the point spread. I'm not talking about win. I'm just talking about the point spread.
What if he spits the bit in the first play of the game like Oregon did?
This is one lock. I don't mind losing.
By the way, how crazy is it that the kid Raiola leaves Nebraska to go to Oregon, and now Oregon's Moore is coming back. He's not going to the NFL draft. And Mel Kiper and a couple other guys actually had Moore as the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, Raiola got screwed bad.
Yeah, well, now I will say this. When he did sign that, they said that there was a conversation that
Moore might come back.
That Moore may come back, and if so, that he was going to sit and wait. And maybe that's the best thing that Raiola can do.
Sure. I think it's also a disastrous move for Dante Moore because his stock's not going to go up any. I mean, he was like he's a top 2 quarterback in this draft. There's 0% chance he's going to be a top 2 quarterback next year. It will not happen.
He must have been given some bad advice, meaning someone must have said that you are going to fall because of that one bad game against Indiana.
No. He's a top 10 pick at worst. Like, he's probably top 5.
The worst thing you can do is put more games on tape. Because you're not going to go up. You could only go down.
Yeah.
And I think you will.
And that's what she said. What is your one big thing?
My one big thing, I think you're going to have a division rival matchup in both conference championship games. I think you're going to be seeing Bills versus Patriots, and I think you're going to see the Rams versus, of course, one of the Seahawks or 49ers. I think it'll probably be the Seahawks, but I think you're going to be getting 2 really exciting division rival matchup games in the conference championship, AFC East and NFC West.
My one big thing is Buffalo better do it. I will be calling the game on Saturday, but Buffalo better do it because you do not have Patrick Mahomes in your way. And all you have to do is beat what is essentially a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix and probably a rookie quarterback in Drake May.
Yep.
And
no excuse. No
right.
excuse.
And that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you have to win at Denver and then you go play CJ Stroud.
That should be a walk in the park.
And Buffalo can beat any team that's left. The only thing they have against them is that they will be on the road.
Yep.
Right. Even if Houston wins, they'll be on the road. There's one thing they have against them is that they will be on the road. But other than that, there's not a team left in the playoffs that can beat Buffalo if they play their best game because they do have the best quarterback. Because Patrick Mahomes ripped his ACL and he's done. But but what I'm saying is you better take advantage of it now because he's probably going to come back.
He's coming back.
He'll come back next year. Andy Reid will find a way to keep them in the playoff picture until Patrick Mahomes comes back, and then who the hell knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
You can get that monkey off his back. It'll remind me a lot of it's different circumstances, but when Steve Young finally won his Super Bowl, he finally was looked upon as one of the upper echelon quarterbacks. Before that, there was always these questions because they said he couldn't win the big one. And that's what they've been saying about Josh Allen. I don't believe that. I believe Josh Allen's as good as it gets, but he's got to win these games. He cannot let a very young Bo Nix beat him.
Yeah,
Bo Nix is only going to get better.
Yeah.
Drake May's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And he can go into New England and beat New England.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it earlier this year. Remember they were dancing around. Was it 21-0? Then all of a sudden they crumbled. That's going to be in the back of those guys' minds. We'll see you at 6 o'clock tonight. Once upon a pastime, game 4 of the World Series. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. We'll see you guys next week. Also remember, Saturday afternoon, Bills Broncos up Mile High.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's closing time, y'all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have a great one. On your way out, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to tip your favorite bartender. We'll see you. I'm Mac Magee, signing off for Braves Country Radio.